mention that Mike is from Western. I don't know if you said that or not, but Western was the sponsor of this panel, so we're very grateful that they were here to sponsor. Moving into an exciting presentation from Will Makra from Digital Extremes, talking about conceptual art for console games. So Will Makra is an artist at Digital Extremes. Will's a 15-year veteran of the entertainment industry, having worked on feature films, freelance illustration, television, and gaming. Specializing in concept, layout, and design, Will's credits include Anastasia, Titan AE, and award-winning programs such as Little Bear, Rescue Heroes, and Robots, and recently the hit video game BioShock 2. And I have to tell you, confession, BioShock 2 is the first game that ever made me want to buy the first one to find out what happened the first time. So it was a great game. Will has a classical art and animation education background, having received his diploma from Sheridan College. Will currently holds a concept layout position at Digital Extremes in London, Ontario. So we're very excited to have Will share some knowledge with us today. Also, the sponsor of the session is Digital Extremes, so we thank them for being here.
Thank you very much, Katie. Good afternoon, everyone. I didn't realize that she was going to steal 3/4 of my speech. I was going to give you a bit of a background about myself, but she's covered that very, very well. She said I'm currently working as a concept artist, which is a little bit of a lie. I just transferred over to layout in Digital Extremes, but I started at Digital Extremes as a concept artist, and I've worked most of my career as a concept artist within animation, feature, television. Here we go. In the tradition of the literary instruction manual so widely used today, I call my presentation Production Concept for Dummies. What I really hoped to achieve with this presentation was to address students and or non-artist types within the industry, whether you are a producer or possibly director, marketing people, folks that might not fully understand exactly what a concept artist does. So let's take a look at the word in itself. What is concept? Something formed in the mind, a thought or notion, an abstract idea. It is the beginning of the journey of creating a game. Creation of something from nothing, usually solely on one's imagination, experience, and skills. In order to help understand how concept forms the abstract ideas and notions, the concept department, I boiled it down to 5 questions. Or not. Here we go. Why is concept so important to the creation process? Where does the concept fit into the process, the pipeline? Who is the concept artist? What exactly is the concept? And what makes concept art practical or impractical? I'll start with the importance of concept in the process of creating a game. First is laying down a good foundation. As within anything in life, the best way to move forward is to lay a firm, solid foundation before proceeding. Particularly when you're dealing with a group of people, a collaborative effort, and something that is created in stages. This is as it is in life in general, but for games in particular, it's always best to start with a good foundation. A concept, along with script writers and level designers, form the basis of the game. As the project moves forward into production, all sorts of problems can occur. Our previous speaker was laying down quite a few issues and challenges that they were coming across. If you have a foundation, a strong foundation to base it off of, as soon as these problems arise, you can deal with them a lot more intelligently and efficiently. Exploration of ideas. That's what concept is. We are the beginning. So we're going to explore as many ideas as possible. Now we do it visually, the concept artists. But that's not to say that we also don't do it in other ways. Generally speaking, we're given a script. But it isn't unheard of for the concept artist in trying to develop the visuals to influence the written word as it goes through the process, as well as gameplay. They are 2 distinct departments, and we'll get to that a little later, but if they're working hand in hand, you'll often find that the establishing a style. If you've ever seen Team Fortress 2, or of course Call of Duty, Black Ops is out now, any of the sporting games, even the game that I have the most current experience with, which is BioShock, each one has a distinct style. Some cartoony. World of Warcraft is also one that's a little bit more cartoony. Some take the style that is super realism. Often, Concept will help to develop that style. They'll establish it. If you're lucky, you'll have a creator who has a vision who can translate that to you, and we'll put it into actual visuals. Inspiration creation. Being in the front end of the process, quite often you'll get the rest of the studio coming to you, often trying to look at the artwork that you have posted on your walls or posted to the internet. It's not to sound like I'm blowing my own horn or the department's horn, but quite often the artists in the studio, environment artists, even scripters, will become excited by what they see by the concept artist. So it's really important as leaders of that particular process that we live up to that inspiration. So this brings me to my second point. Where does concept fit into the pipeline exactly? First and foremost, I want to address scheduling. And I'll apologize now if some of my jaded attitude comes through here. It's very frustrating sometimes for artists to work within the schedule because it's usually the sacrificial lamb, at least in my own personal experiences. Gaining so far can be hugely technical. You should never chintz on the pre-production is what I would stress. If you are a producer and a director and you're trying to get your pre-production in order, you're going to come across problems, you're going to hit walls, you're going to experience issues that always set you back and give you delay your deadline. Sacrificing pre-production, the concept, in my opinion, is one of the worst things that you could possibly do. Like I said before, it is establishing a foundation. If problems arise, it's, in my opinion, better to push the schedule back from the front end and maintain that front end of pre-production, because later on, it all just becomes procedural process and normally falls into place. I have numerous experiences, mostly in television and feature, but the parallels are still there, where a project will hit a wall, they'll hit an issue, and they'll be delayed by days, weeks, sometimes months. But they maintain the very, very beginning of their production pipeline. So a concept gets pitched. They do it under the guise or the explanation that they can't have people sitting around idle. They don't think that they'll be able to meet the end deadline if they don't start production on X, Y, Z day. All sorts of interesting reasons that are very legitimate. But in my experiences, what ends up happening is because the foundation wasn't laid, they push the pipeline, they start creating stuff that's not only sometimes not usable, it's often wasted work. And then when you get to the deadlines, you're not ready anyway because there are so many issues along the way. Then you go over budget, you go over time, and really you haven't gained anything. In fact, you've lost a lot because what happens at that point in time? You've got 30, 50, 140, numerous, your whole crew is angry, they're tired, they're bald because they pulled their hair out, all sorts of things, and then you want to go into the next project following the one you're just finishing. It's very, very difficult to launch a new project when you've got a completely burnt out crew. So I can't stress enough the importance of scheduling when it comes to concept. Now, high concept. High concept is the earliest forms of concept. They can be polished work, they can be rough work, but what they're trying to do is capture the essence. I have examples later on that we'll touch on. But they will take the broad strokes of concept artwork. It's not going to usually be newly detailed stuff, or it won't nail down decisions quite at that point in the process. Right there, they basically want to take the script, its basic ideas and translate it into a format that the rest of the crew can say, here's the project, here's what it looks like, here's what it feels like. Go.